Starting and running your own business requires a particular skill set as well as an attitude to become successful. And this is the view of serial entrepreneur who started his business life while still a student at varsity. He's the founder of a company called Black Industrialists who operate in the agro-processing sector. He's also a publisher. I'm joined by Tokologo Phetla to share his business experience with us. Tokologo, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Much
it's
appreciated.
A pleasure to be here.
Well, you still, if I have to say so, which is a fact, reality,
Yes.
relatively young.
Yeah.
And you're already talking the business talk. You've been in the business world for how long now?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, this will be my fourth one.
This is your fourth one. And you started more or less at the same time as you
Went to
went to varsity.
Yeah, well, I started exactly in my first year.
Yeah?
So I started my first business in grade 11, which was a fuel additive distribution business.
Yeah.
So I sold this fuel additive that apparently saved you on fuel. I don't know. I just sold it, right? So I was a great salesperson.
And people bought it?
Yeah, taxi drivers bought it.
Yeah.
You know, at Soshanguve taxi rank, Mamilodi taxi rank. I ran the business for 1.5 years.
And you started the business from where? Where were you when you started this
I was in
business?
high school.
Yeah,
Clapham
where?
High School.
In
Clapham High School in Queenswood.
Okay.
Yeah,
in Pretoria?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I woke up at about maybe 3 a.m. in the morning, drove to the taxi rank, sold a few sachets of this thing, drove back home, wore my school uniform, went to school.
Yes.
And I did that for about 18 months.
Yeah, and made a bit of money on this as you did that.
It did, yeah, it did.
Taxi drivers were buying it.
No, they were buying it. Eh?
Okay.
And there was repeat business.
Yes.
So maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work, I don't know.
Yes.
But it worked for making me money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it must have worked for them to keep on buying from you.
Possibly.
So, but when you said you felt that you are in business, where was this? When you were at varsity?
Yeah, because I mean, in high school, it was more of a hobby. I was doing it because I was experimenting, I was learning. It wasn't really, I wasn't taking it serious. First year, same thing. So we noticed that in the youth market, right, advertisers in public and private sector think they're advertising to young people, but they're not, right? To be honest, we don't buy these newspapers or magazines. They put ads in. And we saw a gap there and launched a varsity-focused magazine, right, nationally. And that, when we got an investor for that, then things got very serious because you have to be accountable, you know, for many things.
Yes.
And to many shareholders. So that's when I think, beginning of 2014, that's when I felt that, okay, I need to be responsible.
Yes.
And be a businessman.
Okay, now the publication, how did it operate? Was it just for your campus or was it nationally distributed?
No, it was national. Yeah, it was a national publication. So, I mean, I'm still running it now. It's called Millennium Magazine. And it's basically a magazine for young people where we talk to them about topical matters.
Yes.
So our June edition, for example, was around Youth Month, where we profiled young people's contribution to the country's liberation, young people's achievements. Any varsity student can write for us or any young person. So it's a crowdsourced platform.
Yes.
And they feel great because they publish.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a fun magazine. So that's one of our publications.
Okay, and then you've already sold the business?
No, I left. So I started Money Tree Group.
Yeah.
Right, that was the first one in first year.
Yes.
And as of this year, I left.
What was that company all about?
It did publishing. So
okay.
It was called Money Tree Magazine.
I see.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Then I left this year because I wanted to focus on my own, on my own vision, fulfilling what I believe I need to do in the country. So
now you publish your own, you've got your own
publication.
magazine, and this is for the taxi industry.
So we do 3 publications right now.
Okay.
So one is Millennium,
Yeah.
which is for varsities and young professionals. We now publish Taxi Ndaba. We recently got that contract. It's a magazine for taxi owners.
Yes.
So people that own taxis and entrepreneurs
Yes.
in that industry. Then the third one we're launching, the biggest one, which we're very excited about, is called Sisonke. Sisonke is for taxi commuters. So
Okay.
the same way there's an in-flight magazine.
Yes.
We're launching an in-taxi magazine.
So you get into a taxi and then you get given a free copy or something like
yeah,
that.
or at the rank. As you go at the rank, there'll be a copy there. You can just pick it up, read it.
And so what is the content all about that you have in that publication? Is the
Sisonke.
content different from the Indaba publication to Sisonke?
For sure.
Yeah, just
so the
tell
Indaba
me.
is more for taxi industry entrepreneurs. So people that need to know what's happening in the transport policy frameworks, things like that. So more business information.
Yeah.
Sisonke is more commuter entertainment,
Oh, I
infotainment,
see. Yes.
things like that. Yeah.
Okay. But within that short time of your experience as a businessman,
Yeah,
I'm sure
very short time. It's
and,
nothing.
And we've got to take you seriously. I mean, it's very rare that we have somebody wear a hat on the show. So you can see that.
For sure.
So if we don't ask questions and we just let you wear your hat on the show, it shows that we really must we give you the due respect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Otherwise, we'd have been asked questions about your
the
hat.
head.
So what's going on with the head? And
No, the head, it's part of, so people call me the Commodore.
Yes.
Okay, so my business colleagues that I work with, right, quite old guys, like 50, 60, maybe others 40, they came up with the name.
Yes.
Because they saw me as the emerging ranking officer
Yes.
in African business,
Yes.
right? And the Commodore means the ranking officer,
Yeah.
basically. So they call me the Commodore, and there was a branding team that tried to come up with how the Commodore must look as a symbol of hope and prosperity in the country. How you must look, and the hat was part of it.
Okay.
And I like it. I like the look.
Yeah, no,
so-
and it looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you when I looked at your image the first time,
Yeah.
it reminded me of the past in terms of the elders.
Exactly.
You see, so I say,
Exactly,
this
yes.
is an
Yeah.
elder look. I think of
Yeah.
the grandfathers and
Yeah.
people who've come before us, and that they used to be neatly dressed gentlemen.
sure. For sure,
Remember,
yeah.
I asked you about the briefcase.
Exactly.
So where's the briefcase? So
No, it's-
anyway, it's fine. Let's talk about your short experience,
Yeah.
which is serious experience as much as it's for a short time. Personally, what have you learned as a young person, trying this, trying that, and now becoming the Commodore, so that your peers can understand, what you need to have to succeed in business? What have you learned so far?
So I think there's two main things I've learned, right? The first one is that when you start a business, due diligence is very important. Right? So I think young entrepreneurs in the country, we think it's just that easy, just decide I'm going to do publishing and then
Yes.
just do it. We don't do due diligence. I didn't either. I was just lucky. Along the way, I met mentors who guided me. But that's why many small businesses fail, because we don't actually research the industry. And by the time we're in it, we realize it's too late, because you lose reputation. Clients just think, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And in business, there's no age, right? So if you give 5 million to a 22-year-old to deliver a product for you, and 5 million to a 30 or 50-year-old, it's the same amount of money. So there's no age. So I'd say that's what I've learned, to do due diligence. So the next business I start will take me possibly a year before I launch it, because I need to be sure about my story. Right? The second thing I think I've learned is that also enjoy the process. So as young entrepreneurs, we want certainty that I'm going to make it. This business is going to make me my billion.
And it's always a billion, right?
Yeah, it's always a
It's
billion.
always a billion.
exactly,
I wonder
yeah.
why. I mean, you've got 100 rands in your pocket, but the idea is never,
Let's make a
it's
billion.
never, let's make 1,000.
And
It's
take it exactly.
And move to maybe
Exactly.
10,000, 100,000, 1 million, and 10 million.
So we don't understand
From 100
incremental
rand to 1 billion. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And you're right. So we don't understand incremental growth. We
Yes.
just want that high speed,
Yeah.
boom, growth. And
Like the M3 speed type of thing.
Thank you. And sometimes it leads you to being reckless. You make reckless decisions.
Exactly the M3 story again.
You don't like M3s, eh?
No. I'm saying, you can imagine. If
Yeah,
you drive
you're
an
being
M3,
reckless.
you want to try it at 220 on the highway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest second lesson I've learned: to take my time, pace myself, not be reckless.
So those are the things. And what is it that you think makes some of the business? Because you've got to have ambition, right?
For sure,
I think it's very important. If you're going to succeed in business, you've got to have
You have to.
that ambition
Yeah.
and total commitment.
Yes.
You can make all the mistakes you make, but if you lack ambition, it won't happen.
For
anyway,
sure.
it doesn't matter how smart you are.
For sure.
And that we know for a fact. But businesses fail. And some of the things that fail, they are avoidable. Nothing is certain, nothing is perfect, but you can avoid failure, isn't
You
it?
can, yeah.
Tell me.
So I'll speak on the South African context,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Or maybe let me not even say, I'm sorry to do this, but it's the truth, right? I'll speak from a black context even. So when I have many white friends, Jewish guys, etc., because they have access to capital, honestly, business is way easier. So if there's a project that comes up that needs you to deliver, which happens a lot, they have access to capital to see that project through, and they get paid later, things like that. Now, as a young black entrepreneur, access to capital, right, not only startup capital, capital as you operate the business, capital for growth, because growth is an expense. You pay for it upfront, you deliver the project, then you get paid. That's the biggest challenge. So I've had many encounters, even now, like where I have this big deal, like this Sisonke project, for example. And now we have the deal, we have the contract with Santaco. Now where we're going to get the money. See, and that delays the project a lot.
Yes.
It gives you sleepless nights, anxiety, and that is the biggest challenge for me. I think why
there's a lot of
fail.
upfront capital investment that you've got to make and print and publish
and
and
most people don't have
and
most people don't have access
and then
to
you
that.
promise to deliver on a certain date
and you
can't.
Don't. You can't.
And destroy your reputation in the process.
And then they say what do they say? That black people don't deliver.
Or it gets cancelled in the process.
Exactly. And it's not, it's just mainly, I think that's the main reason.
But you're making money now?
Now we are, yes.
And you're feeling good that your business is going to succeed?
No, it feels great. It feels great. So, we have 8 people working for Commodore Media.
Yeah.
And so it's a small team, but it feels good to know that you're responsible. As the CEO, I'm responsible for paying salaries of people that are 34.
Yeah.
People that have families, that have kids. So it's no longer a game for me. I have to. I take it very serious because these people rely on me.
Yeah.
So, but I'm having fun. It's a great experience.
Tokologo Commodore Phetla, thank you very much for talking to us.
It's a pleasure.
We appreciate it. We wish you everything of the best, right?
Thank you very much.
Well, there you are. We've learned something from a young man who started his business while still at high school and university. He's already sold a business. He's starting something new, and he's soldiering on, and we wish him everything of the best. And that's what business is all about. We encourage you too, not only in business, but in whatever endeavor that you've embarked upon, that you stay focused and that you achieve your goals. We continue with the show in a moment.